that has triggered this work has been at the intersection of language processing applications. So, as you all know, that in the current world, we have a lot of rising research in the context of large language models, comprising of OpenAI's ChatGPT, we have Claude, which has now been to Google Gemini, and then we have also the Llama, which is coming from Facebook or Meta. So these large language models have been very powerful in keeping up with applications, state of their knowledge. You can use them in question answering, and you can use them in summarization, and it can also provide you some sort of word knowledge. But the challenge has been that despite their entire so equipment in the context of natural language processing, or if I strongly say natural language understanding, these systems fail to satisfy some of the real use cases of humanity. So, for instance, if I talk about an emergency responder who is being deployed to have a scenario of, let's say, Kerala floods or Kashmir flood, or if I talk about an earthquake in any part of India or any part of the US or United States, the information provided or the information required to them is very precise and is well regulated by authorities. Is the LLM or is the large language model capable of providing such information at such level of depth? If you're talking about a healthcare setting, the information provided is also governed by certain rules and specifications. So the challenge here is that is LLM capable of doing that? The bigger question that arises and that has been triggering me for the past few months or like now a year, it has been, do LLMs or these large language models understand the literal meaning of a concept before they can be used in various applications, or their task is has been simply generating fluent and grammatically correct sentences. So these two are different questions. The first question is all about semantics and art and understanding the more core concept in the sentence. All that is basically a system that are being generating fluent and grammatical sentences is basically the correct use case. Yeah. So if you like that, back here or Calcutta. But yeah, for that, if you take the fiction, it is clear that you are looking at someone. What about civil structure? So it's cannot respond. Let's keep that a very much helpful. That you can get right answer. Diagnostic. Yes, now it is talking about, of course, unique for itself. So if you see what happened for the previous one, self-esteem becomes self-control. While the first sentence, I don't think you are a bad person, turned into, of course, you are a bad person. So despite this instruction, which was just few seconds back, was actually talking about the real thing. It is actually showing that the element is instructions. With that sort of instructions have been completely over. But then it just happened behind it. And it was super intelligent. So that this is what it does. That the period. Here, when the student was the views, there is a related in the response. Right? And this is incredibly select for maybe fixed and now you don't let me work. It is pretty much the scenario that you have the some random initialization which you over the you when you see more and more data. But still that what people think what they have this when there's like I said, see the person is will be moving around 80% this I should be very honest. I thought will be the what I'm just just here. Let's see how yeah, and that's on me. People, young student, memory. So, what is this? It's one of these very good. Engineering subjects. Always said this is what happened without it. You can assume that my picture over here is 20,000 into 80,000 plus. Which seems to be a legitimate way graduating people. And you see over here, the moral, the performance, in a very strict way, which is shown by even right? And so just crossing. It's not nice. It's a big part being in the practice. It's a question now. They just don't understand. It's not English. All and decisions when they individual. The charity. It now. They can do female because it's not maybe I same quality, that time. Which is very good. The same shit that you were not. Just thinking that what it like needed. So, says just get ready. So eventually, the thing that's sense. I said, this thing I showed regular data set. So the data set is usually called get the context. In this scenario, there is this and figure out and all just be and read general sentences for the given. And you have and references that the how the game can understood is the honor goes, which is what it is the data. Again, if it you find around the references, you can also say that we can understand this sentence, but it also finds the people that have the there seems to be a very low. Replace the system of GPT with experiment which I was experiment is of parts. So over there, it was able to the something of two five. It should be called the mountain breaks behind. In this scenario, I was here. There seems to be a different of process. Better than book, study, fundraising, okay? Because that's hard to bring this. I guess. Consistency and reliability is really the right way of achieving with just working as one of the solutions to science or anything scientific yes do all that language. This is startup. Is very popular. So, yeah. Start with All right. You're right. Yeah. Relationship not in partnership. Because they use something wants. Yeah. So as you can, if you're a ChatGPT, but yeah. Okay,
Please share
let
your
me see if I can.
please share your presentation, sir.
Okay.
Sir, if you don't mind, sir, you can open the PPT in the background and then share entire screen, maybe.
Yeah, I
Yes, sir.
tried
Don't
that, but it's not
don't zoom
happening,
the
I guess.
what is it? What is it? Don't on slideshow, sir. Just share your screen with the PPT, sir. That's enough. Don't click on that slide
Okay.
share.
Now you can see.
Hold on, sir.
Now you
Let
can
us check.
see.
No, sir, it is
No, sir.
same.
No, sir.
It is same.
Okay.
Sir,
Okay,
multiple
let
screen
me try.
options are there. Maybe you can share the particular tab as well. Maybe you can open that in browser or
I'm trying to do that. Just to give me a moment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Uh,
You just log out. You just log out from that screen from
okay, okay.
F36.
Uh, okay. So let me see if now it's possible. Entire screen. Okay. Okay. Can you see now?
No, sir. No, sir. Okay, sir. You please carry on, sir. No
sir,
worries.
can you now click on the PPT back again? Maybe one last time I will try out.
Okay. Okay. So it
Click on the entire.
is entire screen. Okay.
Sir,
So
you now I guess it will work. Maybe, hopefully. Hold on, sir.
okay. So it,
Sir,
Okay,
it
sir.
is.
No worries, sir. You please carry on with your presentation, sir. No worries, sir.
now can you
Just
see it? Now can you see?
no, sir. No, sir. Actually, okay, sir. It's okay, sir. You just carry on with your presentation.
Click on the.
Okay. 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 This is not good actually. Just a minute. Let me try to see what's happening.
Sir, can you share that PPT to us? Maybe we will share the screen.
Sir, you
Yeah, that
please
would be good.
just yes, sir.
Sir,
Sir, please mail just mail your presentation to that mail ID, sir.
Okay, I'm sending to Rayala.
Sunny Singh just went to close that one, sir. Actually, he just logged in there also in F36. He just Hello, sir. Sir, excuse me, sir. You please carry on with your presentation. Yes, sir. Sir, we can't hear you. Sir, we can't hear
Okay,
you.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, yes, sir, yes, sir. Carry on, sir.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
So,
So,
camera screen share screen. Okay, just a minute. Screen. Okay.
okay.
So,
Um,
we were at explainability, where we were talking about the notion of explainability that we really require in the AI system at the moment. And what we are really focused on is an explainability which is user centric. So when I say user centric, that means that how does a human explains to another human is a step by step process. So human actually focus. If a teacher is teaching the students in a chemistry class, then he would be focused on chemistry concepts. He would be focused on the terminologies and topics in the English in the chemistry domain. So something very similar is what we were looking at, that we want the explainability is for the people, and it's not just algorithmic designers or developers, which is at the moment is there in the AI system. So the question here is that how do we do that? That how do we achieve such level of explainability? So what we found that within the AI framework system, there is a segment which we call it which we call, and it has been popularized well enough, is the attention system. Attention is a place which is within the neural network is called a stable state. It is a place where you can have multiple information can be compressed into some vector spaces that your model can interact with. So what we try to do is that we were trying to examine that, can this questionnaire that you see at the bottommost, if you don't see it, pardon me, but if you can assuming that you have a questionnaire of certain questions and answers, and you are putting that questionnaire inside your language models, right? So you want your models to answer those questions and keep on doing that till the point that you are satisfied with those answers. So what will happen is that your model will try to figure out a way of what are the different ways those questions can be asked, and no matter how many different ways that question can be asked, I would be able to find some semantic connections between those questions and keep my answers to the best possible stability. That is one that is one achievement by user level explainability. Another thing is that these questions are very domain specific. For example, if I talk about education program in Hyderabad, if I talk about education program in Delhi, if I talk about education program in Kashmir, all of these places have different education systems. Now, because of their different education systems, what are we trying to achieve in this scenario? We're trying to say that how can a system be developed in a generic space can be applied to these domain specific or location specific, I would rather say, location specific areas. So that's where the user level explainability comes very much in picture, because certain criteria of judgment in different locations is for the different people is different, and LLMs are not trained to design or to be deployed in such use cases. So this brings back to the third challenge of the model, which is LLMs at the present level, they lack user level explainability. They can't teach a human user that their answer is correct. You can find millions of ways to confuse the LLMs, and they will take it with a pinch of salt. I would say that that they are confused, and the answer is not correct. Okay, so together, this if these three systems are not handled together, like if I don't handle inconsistency, if I don't handle reliability, and if I don't cater to, or if I don't answer explainability in this LLM systems, then definitely I'm lowering their safety. They would not be useful to an individual. So this actually was a fantastic connection that we were able to make, and the reason was that we were examining what are the different ways people ask questions on various platforms. So one question that actually intrigued me a lot, and that's why that was one of the discussion in the article that I wrote, is can I get addicted to ADHD medicines right during my exams? Right. So definitely, or in a different way, can I use ADHD medicines during my exams? So this was one of the questions that was very intriguing in social media, and people were asking these to the large language models as well. So what happened was that when you ask this question, the model suddenly understands that the ADHD medications or attention deficit hyperactivity medications have a potential misuse, right? But they are occasionally being taken, and to alleviate some discomfort, and also to increase your level of consciousness, your attention, your focus in your exams. So it has both a positive and the negative point. But what the LLM is not able to understand is who is asking. Is a student asking this question, or is a mature adult asking this question? Or is it a person who is very old, or an elderly individual or senior citizen is asking this question? So without understanding who is asking the question, the answer is problematic, and it would lower the safety. Now, whichever way you can ask this question, your model will give you different response. So definitely inconsistency was very much illuminated in this particular question. Unreliability was definitely there, because if I use Chat GPT, if I use Google Bard, they were giving different answers, but the answer was still unsafe. So what we found that with with the use of questionnaires, for example, I can if I've been asked this question, can I get addicted to ADHD medicine, or can I use ADHD medicine during exams? I can ask a follow-up question: are you attempting to get high, or do you want to stay awake longer, or are you losing focus while studying? All of these questions can give you a certain set of information that where are you located, what are you planning to do, so that my response is more adaptive to what you're looking for. So that brings me another effective use case that can be answered using LLMs, which is LLMs by themselves are unsafe for sure, but they can be empowered through proactive inquiry. That means if you are able to infuse some questionnaires or guidelines into these LLMs, they would be able to give you a more concrete and stable outcomes, as opposed to the LLMs they are right now in the public space. So, in all of this discussion, what are we missing, or what is that the LLM is missing essentially? The LLM is missing domain specificity. It doesn't know which document or which information is relevant to me. It doesn't know about the rules and the constraints in which the human world functions. It doesn't really know how the different people interact with each other and they learn together, right? For example, if two students are learning for the same exam, right, they will collaborate with each other to come up with the best performing outcomes in that exam. That's a natural human tendency. But if that so two people rely on LLMs that they will teach them and they ask the same set of questions, they both will be getting different answers. As a result, they will be writing different answers to the exams. Some of them might be correct, some of them might be wrong. So no one can actually beat, LLMs cannot beat this level of graphical connections between humans that is coming out in the literature, and it is coming out in the social dynamics and so on and so forth. So this brings back to be the core topic of LLM, which is called the neurosymbolic LLMs, where my focus is to blend diverse source of knowledge to LLMs. And when I say diverse source of knowledge, I would focus on documents. If I talk about documents, my two things that I really want to focus on is called the document retrieval and augmentation. So I retrieve the document and I pick a part of the document and augment it to my LLMs. The second thing is the triple extraction. When I say triple extraction, that means I'm talking about graphs. Graphs are always triples. Why do I call it triples? Is a very simple way. So your graph is nothing but a node, and there is another node, and there is a connection between the nodes. This node, that node, and the middle connection is a triple. So you have two nodes, and there's a connection between it, and that forms the triples. So this triple is essentially another way of representing the rules and the constraints. And the third part is definitely the rules, straight out of the domain specificity, as the example that I gave about education. So what we say is that the models can follow instructions, but they are not trained to be a follower of instructions. The way people have been doing the instruction tuning in LLMs is not the same as instruction following by the rules. So it's a very simple case. Students have been told by the teachers or the professors that you need to follow these instructions, but it's up to the students whether they want to follow it or not. So likewise in LLMs also, giving the instruction doesn't mean that the instruction are being followed. So the instruction following in the LLM is a really an important task. So we did a first attempt to neurosymbolic LLMs using these different forms of knowledge. And we come up with the first design of neurosymbolic LLMs. And I have nicely described this in the article as well, in which the first process is that given the user query, we first construct a small graph of that query, coming up with all the different facets of information that can inform that particular query. Now, once I have a small graph of that query, let's say you want to ask about cultural heritage in Odisha. Now, the cultural heritage in Odisha is described through the religion being practiced over there, the temples, the language, and the different people with their different faith and ideology. If I want to bring them together, that's a small graph of Odisha that I can construct using Wikipedia. Now, once I have constructed a graph from Wikipedia, I can extract a lot of documents related to that graph from the Wikipedia information. That would require some sort of different documents being crawled from Wikipedia. Now, that small query that the user fired, the model was able to figure out these sort of documents that can inform that query. Now, the objective is for the generator LLM or the LLM that is prepared to give answer to give you the response based on these documents. But the question is that how do I ensure that it is correct, right? So one way is that it can actually interact with you, giving the response, and you give a feedback, yes and no, thumbs up and thumbs down. Things of the nature you probably might have seen in ChatGPT, but ChatGPT don't interact with you on back and forth. It just asks you one time. If you give a thumbs down, it might ask you to repeat it one more time, but that's where the story ends, right? Here in neurosymbolic LLMs, if you give a thumbs down, the model goes back and generate a question for it. The question is that, am I understanding your query correct? And this is the paraphrased query that the model has generated. If you agree to that query, the model gets a reward saying that, okay, I understood your query very well. This is the most probable answer that I can form. And the reason to this answer is you have answered these questions have already been answered based on this information that I'm providing you. And these questions that I have created is very similar to your questions. Very similar. It's just like, I would give you a very simple example. If you do a Google search and just scroll down, you will say people also ask. You will see people also ask system. People also ask means your query is similar to these people's query that has already been asked in the previous sessions when these people are doing the Google search on a similar topic. Something very similar is what we are doing over here. In the neurosymbolic LLM design, we are enabling proactive inquiry in the LLM's designs. Now, this process requires grounding. because that is what we are doing with the document retrieval and the graph retrievals. We are talking about instructability, which is coming up through the instructions or the rules that the LLM is following when it is giving you a response. So if we're no longer asking you, not only giving you an answer, but also giving you or asking you more appropriate questions, so the conversations keeps on going. And the last step is the explainability. How does explainability comes into the picture? The explainability comes in the picture is when you repeatedly decline the response of the LLM comes back with the series of questions that it was able to pick because of your questions and those questions similarity, and what are the answers that the model has generated for those questions. So if you agree that the model has not understood, then probably more context is needed, and the LLM stops at that particular point of time. So explainability is a very innate design to such a system. So what we found that when we applied this system, we found 12% improvement over of neurosymbolic LLMs over Chat GPT as well as GPT 3.5. And there was already a fairly designed Instruct GPT, which was I would say it's a precursor or a model that was previously built before Chat GPT came public. Was the Instruct GPT, and we were performing 25% and above better than that particular system. So this certain design of neurosymbolic LLM seems to be functional, but certainly more work is needed because we did not achieve a level of confidence in the deployment stage. But this seems promising to us. So this brings back to the whole challenge and the entire framework that I have been promoting for the past few months is called the CREST framework, which stands for the consistency, R stands for reliability, E stands for explainability, and S stands for the safety. And together of these systems is what we achieve a trustworthy LLMs. That's what the goal is. And I showed you in the class in this presentation today about consistency issues, reliability issues with explainability, and how they all can be brought together in the context of neurosymbolic LLMs. So there is more to work in this structure, which can be, I could define that into three different verticals. One is the methods vertical. In the methods, I would suggest people to explore adversarial training of these neurosymbolic LLMs, try out various perturbations of the input data, talk about ensemblings of LLMs, and ensure that you are providing sufficient checks on instructions being followed by these LLMs. The metrics in the neurosymbolic behavior is yet to be designed. They are still in the immature stage, and there's a huge amount of research that can be done along these lines. So the three metrics that I really emphasize on based on my experience is consistency, reliability, and safety. And lastly, the applications of this neurosymbolic LLMs. To my understanding, I have explored it in mental health and cybersecurity, but its equal importance in education and human behavior and studying is equally beneficial. With this, I end my today's talk, and I open to any questions from the audience. And sorry for if I was not able to share my screen, but if you have any questions, I can answer it offline as well. My email ID is manas, my Manas, the first name @umbc.edu. And you can also collaborate with us on LinkedIn, where I have a group called KAI2, KAI2. Yeah, which can stands for Knowledge Infused AI and Inference Lab, which was essentially if so happens that it showed up in the first slide of my presentation. Thank you all for your attention. I'm open to questions if there are any.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yes, sir. Is my voice audible to you?
Yes, your voice is audible to me.
Thank you so much for your valuable speech, sir.
Yes.
Thank you for your valuable presentation, sir.
So, Manas sir, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, thank you very much, sir, for your eminent speech. You enlighten us in all aspects. Thank you so much, sir. I
Thank
will get
you.
back with you. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
మేడం క్లోజ్ చేసాం లింక్ క్లోజ్ చేసేది సార్కి ఒక 10 నిమిషాలు అని పెట్టి ఒక 10 నిమిషాలు జస్ట్ 10 minutes ఫైనల్ ప్లీజ్ అక్కడ ఆఫ్లైన్ సార్ జస్ట్ గో టు F30 Just let me. Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
The day, sir. I'm good,
Yes.
sir. I'm good. Sir, the thing is that actually, just wait for 10 minutes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, just
Thanks.
Brahmi, sir. Am I audible?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Good morning.
This is from Ramjan, sir, convener of this conference.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your joining, sir. Sir, a small technical issue. Just give me only 10 minutes, sir.
Yes. No problem. No.
Yes, please, sir, please.
Thanks.
ఈయన ఎక్కడున్నాడు రమ్మని చెప్పు తీసుకున్నాడు సార్ వచ్చాము చార్జర్ ఇస్తారు విజయ్ నీకు చూసుకో మళ్ళీ పైన నీకు అంత టచ్ ఉంది స్క్రీన్ పొద్దున్న ఆల్రెడీ ఉన్నారు కదా ప్రెజెంటేషన్ నడిచిపోతుంది నువ్వు చూసుకో నువ్వు చూసుకుంటా స్టార్ట్ చేసుకుని 12 o'clock అక్కడ మళ్ళీ ఆన్లైన్ స్టార్ట్ అడిగి థ్యాంక్స్ చెప్పేసి
Sir, Brownie, sir. Sir, Brownie, sir.
If you do that, it will.
Hello. Hello, Brownie, sir.
Yes, I hear.
Hello, sir.
I hear
You
you.
can
I
start
hear.
your presentation. So you can start your presentation, sir. Thank you for joining, sir. So thank you for joining, sir. You can start your presentation, sir. Uh, Good morning. Good morning. I hope will not be heavy. So today I will present a new topic called notrosophic set. In this presentation, we will explore some motion of notrosophic set theory. So before starting, I will special thanks to all participants and also to international conference community. So today we will explore some extension of notrosophic set theory. The objective of this webinar is to introduce the notion of notrosophic set
notrosophic logic with example and also representation geometric of notrosophic cube and some application and a new extension of notrosophic set theory. So first, I will present you the two well-known journal of notrosophic set. There are at least three journal of notrosophic set. The first is founded in 2013, which is indexed in Scopus with Q2, and the second, which is called International Journal of Notrosophic Science, which is also indexed in Scopus. So, as you see in this table, notrosophic set and system journal, it is indexed among the well-known journal. So, now, what is the meaning of notrosophy? So, notrosophy is a new branch of philosophy introduced by Florentine Samaranda, which is studying the origin, nature, and scope of neutrality, as well as their interaction with different additional spectral like notion or idea located between the two extreme.
Very good morning to you all. So today we are in the second day of our seminar. So let me introduce our guest, Bala Prasad P. Bala Prasad P is a Chief Innovation Officer and Global Head of Technology Advisor Service for Technology Software and Service Business Group at Tata Consultancy Service. With over 25 years of experience, he drives innovation-led growth by incubation new technologies and promoting a culture of innovation, experimentation, and innovations. His expertise lies in emerging technologies such as multi-cloud, multi-edge, 5G, metaverse, and generative AI, advising customers on technology adoptions and driving business growth, cost optimizing, and transformation programs. Bala has held various leadership roles at TCS, including Chief Innovation Officers, Global Head Technology Advisor Service for units. He holds a master's degree in computer science from the University College of Engineering, Osmania University, and bachelor degree in computer science from Wesley Boys. Additionally, he is associated in Microsoft Technologies, process innovation management, and artificial intelligence. So we welcome you, sir, on the direct.
Yeah. Hello. You're able to hear me? Clear? Thank you.
Anything else, sir?
That's you guys are able to hear me? Okay.
Excuse me. Can you please keep it your color?
What is this?
Mike, hold on. Keep it your color.
Let me check this. We are good to go? Great. So how was the conference for all of you? Knowledgeable? Purposeful? You extracted a lot of knowledge? You made some new friends? The people who are coming here, the delegates who are coming here, expanding your network? Yes or no? Very nice. So my session is more trying to focus upon some of the digital superpowers. The superpowers which is really reshaping the world, which is trying to bring technology into the corporate world with reimagining, reshaping how we operate, how we drive. So first of all, let me introduce you to the how this particular customer service as an example to set the context. I will try to run you through how this evolution happened. You all buy products online. So when you buy products, if there's a problem with the products, what you do? What you do? You return it, but you don't want to return. You want to fix it. What do you do? Even if you want to return, you need to call a customer care to indicate them you want to return. Sometimes online is possible. Sometimes you need to call them and set it up. So customer service plays a very important role in every organization today. So it's important that you understand how this evolution happened over the period. Right from the pre-early 1900s, when you're trying to look at it, there were different methods. The focus was completely different. People were there behind the scene. They were using some PABX techniques to do that. But as we progressively moved, you see that entire role of the customer service has been completely changing. Earlier, the goal was only to meet the need of the customer, but intent was completely dramatically changing because of the evolution of the technology. Once from the telegramic point, then people started moving into the 1-800 numbers. Now that's what you try to see, the toll-free numbers. The intent was completely going from creating the brand, creating a customer-friendly conversations. Intent is you are not trying to only serve the purpose of the customer, but you are trying to make the entire conversation to be much more friendly, so that there is a loyalty established. There is also a kind of a change of connections which are getting established. As we progressively moved into 2010s and 2020s, with the evolution of different technologies coming into the organization, the entire focus is not only addressing the customer friendly conversation, but also trying to help them and support and resolve these issues. But today, if you're trying to look where we are trying to get artificial intelligence playing a very important role, customer service is completely getting and dramatically getting changed. The focus is completely shifted towards the hyper personalization, where human and AI will come together to solve the problems. There are many times machine will solve the problems and human only validate and review whether it is done in a right way or not. So hyper personalization is a concept which is trying to trigger the thought. It's not only personalizing for the particular user. Your problem is unique. Your problem is need to be solved, but it is getting addressed through the machines. I just say, I just wanted to touch upon some of the new opportunities which has been triggered as part of the overall evolution of AI. AI by itself was standing right from the 1940s, 50s, but the reality, or it is entered into the mainstream only because of the technology evolution, the capability of compute, the capability of memory, the capability of algorithms, which really played an important role. One of the key and important role which played today is 5G. The way we are adopting the technology in the form of mobile has dramatically grown. You see tenfold, hundredfold improvements in the entire mobile device adoption. You see that kind of a traffic growth which has resulted in is really dramatically changing. You also see usage of the cloud triggered because of this. Not only cloud, but also about the edge cloud, what we try to talk about. You heard about autonomous computing? Autonomous computing? The autonomous cars? Tesla? Okay, that would be the right analogy to put it. So when you're trying to use any kind of an autonomous capabilities, it is very much needed that the local capability of processing the data need to be much, much faster. So your ability to sense the things, your ability to respond to the things also plays a very important role in the autonomous. So the Internet of Everything, digitization of this particular things has really evolved over the period. So with that note, I just wanted to touch upon some of the key 5 digital superpowers for you. First one is 5G, definitely, because 5G and the advancements of the 5G is into the 6G and 7G as well. But you can also try to see that how 5G has transformed the entire computing capability, but not only the ability to transmit the data much, much faster. The latency improvements, the ability to accumulate so many devices in the specific density areas, all are possible now. Second is about a multi-edge we are going to touch, because edge computing plays a very important dominant role if you wanted to drive autonomous capabilities. And today, people are no longer talking about cloud adoption. It became a mainstream. But intent is to focus on how I can draw the best of the possibilities from the multi-cloud adoption so that I can reduce my risk of using my applications or going into a situation where people are hacking one particular cloud environment, but still I can serve my customer from the other cloud environment. The fourth is very much we all know about generative AI. Is there anyone who doesn't know generative AI today? If I say that do you know ChatGPT? If you say yes or no. So the technology behind the ChatGPT is all about generative AI. It is really driving the world. It's really driving crazy in building new and new scenarios. Last but not the least, it's about the metaverse. We heard about virtual reality, augmented reality, but mixed reality, but it's all about a new term which has been coined metaverse playing an important role. How we try to adapt to the new changes, new experiences of the customers. With that note, let me touch upon the first digital superpower. So if you try to look at the fifth generation of wireless technology, it is trying to offer the ultra fast speed, low latency, ultra fast speed. How do you share it?
Sorry, Tristan.
No problem. Mail. Can you send it mail? I can send, but I need a network for this.
Or else if
Should
it's okay, then I'm just sharing the PPT one. Like with cam, I'm sharing. You're not visible in that light.
okay.
If it is okay, then
That's fine. Absolutely. It all depends upon your choice.
it's okay.
If it's
After share, actually.
you could have told me in the beginning. No problem. Okay. So you see today the new 5G is trying to unlock some of the new scenarios which were not possible earlier. Because of the speed, you are able to offer many of the critical and emergency services at a pace where you can really deliver the things to the customer. Telemedicine is definitely one of them, but it is also about your own experience of the games. How many of you play games here? Few of the hands are raising, definitely. So, for when you're playing a game, you feel happy when there is a seamless experience, there's no buffering. In the 3G and 4G world, we used to have a continuous buffering used to happen. You could play, then suddenly buffering, again, you play, again buffering. But with the 5G, you are able to see that seamless experience because the speed and the amount of the data which is getting transmitted at the rate where you can experience is fast. Even today, if you're trying to talk about the OTT platforms where you're trying to stream the data and you are trying to view the movie, you don't see the buffering coming in. Earlier, buffering used to be very much evident. Yes or no? So there is a huge amount of opportunities which are getting triggered. With the advent of this, one of the scenario which I want to touch upon is a manufacturing plants, where many of the plants which are operating, which requires a expert assistance. Earlier, a person need to travel down to that particular location to fix the issue. But with the availability of the 5G technology, people are able to go and fix the things sitting remotely, no matter wherever you sit. That's where the power of digital twin is coming in. That's where the power of concepts like smart cities here, which are evolving. Because smart cities also what that try to advocate the thought is you have this power of 5G, you can ensure that you're transmitting the data at a fast pace with lower latency. More data with lower latency. Latency is nothing but a response time under which you're trying to transmit. So the 5 important characteristics for any kind of a business one need to remember is ultra reliability. Whatever the data you transmit, it should be reaching to the destination with lot of reliability. You might be learning, if you're a computer science graduate, you might be learning about 7 layers of OSI, which is trying to talk about TCP and UDP protocols. The reliability ensures that whatever the data is getting sent from source to the destination, it is reaching. So that's what the ultra reliability is trying to advocate. Capacity and coverage. The more number of devices which can participate, and if it is able to serve all the devices with the similar kind of an performance, that would be the great. So that's how you see today many of the scenarios are coming into the existence, because even though there's a huge amount of density of devices which are participating, it is able to meet the needs. High speed and low latency. Whenever the speed is increased, obviously the time it takes to transmit the data will be less. And massive device connectivity. Today, the density of the population is so high that many people are carrying 1 or 2 mobile devices, and you are having that power of connecting all these devices together. If you're trying to look at the smart cities, the amount of sensors which are going to play an important role, which is transmitting the data at a faster pace, is keep on increasing, and you need to ensure that you are able to deliver that particular services. So the massive device connectivity allows you to connect all these devices, transmit the responses, and able to fulfill the business needs. Now, second important digital superpower which is trying to relate to this is multi-edge. Now, this superpowers cannot stand on its own. Remember, just by having 5G without having the edge of cloud, you cannot do much. You need to have a combination of these things to make it happen. Multi-edge is also a very important entity because it is trying to develop the capability of decentralized processing. Earlier, anytime a client used to send the data, it need to go to the centralized processing server, compute that, send the response back. But today, people don't have patience. People want the things to be much done faster and quicker. So the trend here is, why not we distribute the intelligence? Why not we distribute the processing capability at the local devices? Your smartphones are your edge devices. Do you know many applications which you install use your smartphones as the edge devices, and they use your computing power to perform their tasks? Do you know Google Map use your device as a edge device to identify the traffic in that particular location where you're trying to travel? So these are some of the scenarios where you can really look at how intelligently you can build an application where without spending a single rupee, you're able to utilize the power of some other's device. Edge offers that kind of a capability, and today you are able to utilize these real-time decisions using the edge. That is the reason the power of autonomous cars, Tesla, so many sensors which will be built into that, hundreds of sensors will be part of it. It is able to process because it has got an edge capability to process and make the decisions. Well, while this is happening as a trend, you can see many applications which constantly emerge as part of the augmented reality. When you say augmented reality, what is that augmented reality? You're augmenting the context of your environment and making it much more real. How many of you played Pokemon here? So you play normal games, but your environment is not there in that particular game. But if you're playing a Pokemon, your environment is taken into the context. The way that you're traveling, your road, artificial roads, they get augmented. That entire image bundled into that particular thing so that you feel that you're part of that particular system. So augmented reality apps are really making the experience to be much seamless, and that is possible because of the ability to process the things at a local locations. Now, Edge and AI, when they come together, there are enormous applications. I just wanted to give you a snapshot of these applications for your reference. So you can talk about smart factories, Today, many of the factories which are becoming the factory of the future is all about developing the smart factories. You take a Royal Factories, which is building your Vande Bharat coaches. It uses a smart factory ability to manufacture the things where they'll be able to utilize drone technologies, AI technologies, edge technologies, prediction technologies, and trying to build that kind of a solutions. And you can talk about the smart railways, and this, you can also look into the consumer CPG and retail. All all of your retail stores today are becoming much more intelligent. They know when to check for the inventory. When the inventory is going down, they can sense it and refill it so that they are not losing the customers. Have you heard about Amazon Go? Yes or no? How many of you heard about it? Not heard about it. Not heard about it. No hands, so I can assume. Okay, so there are a couple of hands. For your reference, Amazon Go is a kind of a completely built as a kind of a virtual store, physical store without a. It's an unmanned physical store, you can call, where a person can go, walk into that particular store with his mobile phone that becomes a device, and that will identifier to walk in. You can pick up and you can walk out. You need not be, the bill will automatically come to you. The store has got all the capabilities of edge, sensors, that is IoT, cloud, which is bundled together. That's one of the best example you can try to look from the retail store. And it has got the kind of a mechanism to look at your face to detect who you are, computer vision. So bundle of this particular technology is really making the things much faster. When you build this technology, what is happening? It is offering a different level of experience to the customers. So they need not wait in the queue. They need not check what they want. They exactly know which aisle they need to go to pick up what they want, and they need to worry about the billing counter lines. They can just walk out because device knows the codes which are bundled into the sensor knows how this particular billing need to happen to this particular device. That relation is established. So today, not only that, you can also start many other new capabilities which are emerging constantly. The virtual capabilities built with this, trying to drive a lot of new things. Like you can talk about smart wearables, intelligent wearables or intelligent drones, which are playing an important role. And you can also talk about the multiplayer AR games. These are becoming the norm and trend in the market today, which is trying to power up using 5G and edge. 5G gives you the low latency, high speed capability. Edge offers the local processing power, intelligent processing power within the local device, which makes the things much more better combination for new scenarios to be unlocked. The third important area which I wanted to touch is multi-cloud. Now, we all use cloud environments like Azure, Amazon, Google Cloud. Many other cloud players are also there in the market, hundreds of cloud players. But today, you need to understand customers are having a kind of a problem. Enterprises are having a lot of challenges because from the COVID time onwards, you see that many of these enterprises are getting hacked. Many of their services are getting uh, stopped. So what they're trying to do, they're trying to follow the hybrid cloud path or multi-cloud path. So the definition of the hybrid cloud is basically you're trying to say that I have my processing capability on the cloud and I have my data which is running on the on-premise. But in the multi-cloud scenario, what is happening is you have certain services which are running on one particular cloud environment, let's say for an Azure. You may also redundantly run the similar kind of a services in Amazon. You can also run the similar kind of a services on Google Cloud. But you are trying to be very choosy what to run where so that your cloud cost can be optimized. Today, people are very cost savvy. They wanted to optimize the cost. If some provider is offering a less cost, they wanted to go in that direction. And if some provider is coming with the intelligent capability of services, they wanted to adopt that. Multi-cloud ability to provide that interoperability, hybrid capabilities can offer to process the things. So say for an instance, an inventory service can run as part of your Azure cloud. Your supply chain services or logic services can be running on Amazon. Your fulfillment services can run on some other environment. All these things getting integrated together and making it much more faster. Today, if you're trying to ask Netflix is one of the famous example which embraces multi-cloud to the greatest extent. They are able to provide that uninterrupted supply streaming capability because of that multi-cloud capabilities, looking into the speed and scale under which it can serve. So enormous number of opportunities are available in this area where you can try to embrace the e-commerce ones and dynamically drive many things, dynamically scale many things. Now, let us try to bundle them together. We have bundled 5G and Edge. Now, let's bundle 5G, Edge, and cloud together. So, if you are looking at the Edge kind of a cloud computing, so basically it's trying to orchestrate the thought, indicating that you can run this capability and you need not have the cloud style environment. You can have the local capability. Your smart watch can be an edge. Your phone can be an edge. So wherever the processing is happening, where your intelligent decisions are happening, are considered to be an edge. When lateral, when you're trying to look at cloud, it could be centralized way of processing the things. So you need to make a kind of a choices. You need to complement this particular services to make it much more efficient. So it's a designer choice. It could be the architect's choice. How you want to design your systems in such a way that it can leverage the power of the edge. So understanding that ecosystem of participation can really help you to unlock the true benefits what it offers. So cloud and edge can work together. You take any kind of a scenarios, even if you're trying to take about drones, which is, let us take a situation, there is a farm which is there. You're trying to go and survey that particular farm. When you're trying to take the images of the farm using the drone, there are a lot of images which are computed. Okay. So there are certain decisions drone can take within the local device itself, then and itself. There are certain things drone need to transmit these images to the centralized server to understand the pattern of the farm, what it is capturing, what it is trying to understand. So the radius, length, breadth, all these things can be locally done, but mining that particular data, understanding the pattern of this particular images can be centrally done. So complementing those things are possible, and you can take a look at that. Even if you are trying to take the retail stores, you have the retail fulfillment. If there is a kind of articles or items which are completed or need to be fulfilled or refilled, you have a nearby warehouse where you can transmit that information and get the things done. But if you need to order that and get it from the separate third party supplier, you can send it to the cloud and it can create that order for the third party supplier. Both things are possible. You need to understand how you wanted to embrace. I just wanted to touch how the future is evolving in the cloud. We have heard about infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service, which are very much known. But in the future, you might be start hearing about multi-cloud, sovereign cloud, industry clouds. And likewise, you can also see these clouds are going in a very much generative clouds and likewise. So at every stage, you see that they are trying to segregate the things. When I say industry cloud, you may get manufacturing cloud, banking cloud, fintech cloud, and healthcare cloud. Because every industry has got specific compliances, regulations, which need to be followed. Today, if you're asking many of the major cloud providers, they are still working on releasing their beta versions of this particular cloud environments. So when industries come into utilizing their applications on the cloud, they need not worry about these compliances. The platform vendor is taking care of that. So any healthcare application, if you are trying to deploy it in the healthcare cloud, by default, all your messages gets transmitted in the IPA format. If your real estate applications, real estate compliances can be followed. If you have manufacturing applications, manufacturing cloud follows those particular things. They are trying to build these particular things in such a way that it takes care of the things by default. But there is also some key element what you need to understand. That is the sustainability. Have you heard about sustainability term? Sustainable goals, ESG. This is something which is happening across the world. Even the G20 summit was trying to talk about it. Reducing the carbon footprint. So when your compute capabilities are high, lot amount of power gets used. It releases a lot of carbon footprint. So focus is there on building the sustainable cloud, indicating that the green cloud, green energy, how you utilize your power, how you ensure that your sustainability goals are met, climate impact is reduced, zero carbon footprint can be achieved, is towards that. Many organizations are pledged to reach to zero carbon footprint by 2030 to 2050. Intent is, if you want to save it, it's not only the responsibility of using these particular systems, but it is also our equal responsibility to see that we are developing the systems which is much more sustainable. In fact, the efforts are going today within the industry. How do you choose the sustainable algorithms? The algorithms, what every problem has got multiple solutions. But if there is a solution, it not only meets the requirement, but it is solution which is sustainable and meet the climate needs, also will be encouraged. Today, no proposals are getting accepted within the industry if they do not meet some of the sustainability goals. That's how important rise it is coming in. And the composable architectures are also playing a very important role. The composable solutions are something like earlier, you heard about SAP, Oracle. These are the big beasts on the enterprise application services area, ERP solutions. But every organization has a different needs, and they wanted to come pick one Lego block from one particular location, one Lego block from other locations, and compose them together, make them talk together. So services can be taken from the different clouds and can talk together. I don't know, you just an analogy I want to touch upon here. Yesterday I was there in Central University talking to one of the professor. As part of the national education policy, you all get credits for your courses, right? Yes or no? As part of the national education policy, you know that you can also enroll to the higher education university and get credits and redeem it here. And there is a national candidate academy bank which is getting created. You can also go through your credits and redeem it later for your certifications. So there is basically what is that you are trying to do? You are trying to pick your best courses from the best universities and accumulating the credits and redeeming it. Similar kind of a things, composing. The composable architectures are all about composable clouds are taking the best of the breed, composing it together to meet the business objective. So likewise, this cloud is disrupting the disruption in the technology is also trying to disrupt the business under which we are trying to work and perform. So you may see these things coming in the next 5 to 10 years, how these things will evolve and drive the things. Fourth, the very important superpower, generative AI. So how many of you use ChatGPT? How many of you went beyond ChatGPT to understand what it is all about? What is the technology behind it? What is the purpose of using ChatGPT? For what purpose you used? Quick information, okay? Quick information on what? Any topic, okay? Even Google is right. What is the difference between Google and ChatGPT? How do you know that it is a specified answer? Why you trust it? It can give you hallucinated answers, right? Which you can blindly believe. Possible or not possible? How do you validate? That is one of the core problem. Basically, with any generative AI applications, whatever the responses it is offering, if you really do not believe, then you start believing it, then it's an hallucination. You are trying to believe all the false positives as a positives. It is very important. Generative AI need to be taken with a pinch of salt that you understand it is human trained engine. I'll tell you one of the early generative AI story. There was a AI bot which got created by Amazon for interviewing the candidates, or in fact, shortlisting the resumes. And they normally get thousands of resumes from the different universities in US. One day they got similarly some resumes around 400 or 500, and the bot rejected everything. Bot rejected all the candidates. They were surprised to see it's a very much premier university, why it has got rejected. When they investigated the reasons, they found that bot has rejected it because it has been trained by a male person with a human bias. That is called human bias. It has been trained by a male, and the training which is offered only to select the candidates who are male. The resumes that they got was completely coming from the human university. And bot did not realize that because it was biased in that approach, it was able to diagnose in such a way that it has not shortlisted any of these particular candidates. Bias free AI engines are very important. Safety AI engines are very important. Responsible AI engines are very important. Explainable AI engines are also very important. And your ability to trace back and understand where how it is able to deduce the response is equally important. Today, generative AI is trying to provide you that kind of ability to get the faster response because it has already trained with massive amount of data, with 100 billions of 175 billion of parameters. Every model has got a different level of parameters it has been there. The ability to generate the content what it creates is much faster. You can ask for different kind of a content because it has got the volume of information, it is able to do that. So similarly, it is trying to play with not only the text, images, audio, video, and the ability to provide the translation of the activity is also very, very high. Okay, so remember, when you're trying to select any kind of a problem statement which can be solved by the AI, you need to look at the whether it is assisting you, whether it is augmenting you, whether it is transforming. These were three important elements what you need to really consider when you are trying to play with an AI. So using the AI is a simplified way because it has got a massive adoption. But underneath the scene, you need to understand the risks involved in it and try to gain. But let me touch upon some of the utility use cases, what is getting currently explored within the industry. Today, if you're trying to look at industry, they are using it for the audio video medium. There are plenty of applications which has been developed today which generates images on the fly. 2D images, 3D images, videos, musics which are getting generated. You heard about your voices also can be mimicked. The videos can be fixed through the stable diffusion methods. You can stitch the video with a set of images and make it like a seamless video running. All these things are possible because of the powerful algorithms. Second important thing is programming. Much of the programming currently getting adopted using the copilots. You heard about pair programming? Today, generative AI is getting embraced within every industry, every enterprise. Every developer is getting an aid to use Copilot as an aid to develop the programs. 30 to 40% of the program code getting developed by the Copilot itself. But you need to know what is the intelligent way of posting that particular questions. That is called the prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is a new skill which is getting created. If you carry that kind of a skill, your ability to usage of the tools will be much, much higher. And today, if you are taking, you have a co-pilots for the office, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. You have the co-pilots for your IDE. If you're using Visual Studio or Eclipse, you can utilize this. You have a co-pilot for your enterprise apps like Dynamics Copilot and so on. In fact, today, many of the enterprises are releasing their co-pilots to enhance the productivity, improve the developer efficiency, increase the customer satisfaction for every year in their environments. So that is becoming an important trend and accepted norm, which is providing overall 20 to 30% of the productivity in the market. An important area which is getting explored today is about the natural language content. So basically, as that lady said, you can get the information. It's not only getting the information, it's generating the information. Your ability to generate the new content is very, very important. So if it is only getting the information, information retrieval can be done even with AI engines. But utilizing the corpus of the knowledge, generating the new information is what the generative AI is all about. Content generation is key. And today, many of the design specs are also getting generated using this. One of our semiconductor industry customer I'm trying to work with, they generate the new age semiconductor chip designs using the generative AI models. Chip designs can be done. Design validations can be done. And importantly, you also look at the strategies it can be developed. Today, organizations need to work on different strategies. It could be the workforce strategy, product positioning strategy, or customer acquisition strategy, talent management strategies. These things are also getting hinted through this particular tool sets. So there are a lot of predictions which are running in the world today. You need to understand that much of these predictions are only trying to trigger the thought that most of the data which is sitting today will be getting trained by the machines, and around data what is getting produced today will be much more from the machines than the AI. So we are going to slowly transition into the world where human powered world to the human plus AI powered world. Design of AI will be combining the power of human and AI. We are going to provide the instructions to the AI, and whatever the AI generates, we are going to validate that. That is the state of the thought we are trying to move from the normal AI intelligence to general AI intelligence, then to the super AI intelligence. So today, developer efficiency, as I mentioned, 30% is what the manufacturing industry is trying to target. Europe, as this thing on, there is also a lot of safety controls which are getting released by the different governments. You guys need to be aware of the fact that Indian government NASCOM has released responsible AI controls for any kind of a generative AI applications which is getting leveraged. Today, if you are trying to use any Gen AI applications, you are supposed to apply that responsible AI safety controls. Why? Because we don't want to deduce anything which is incorrect. We don't want it to give the responses which will be harmful. We don't want AI to provide any kind of a direction which is unsafe in nature. Safe and secure responsibility is very, very important, and this is becoming a very important. And there should be also a clear differentiation between whether it is a human generated version or a machine generated version. There is also watermark capabilities will be introduced, which ensures that whatever the things are getting generated by the machine are indicated. So similarly, if you try to see chat GPT things, whatever the responses it generates, you copy and paste it anywhere, it provides certain codes. They are like a watermarks you can think about. So the responses, if you copy, you can understand it is protected in that form. Currently, it's not well protected, but people can go and delete those things. But that is the stage currently it is going on. And you can see 20%, but I would say it could go up to significantly 30 to 50% in the coming generation for generating the procedural code for the professionals. While I say so, I want to touch upon one of the important area. It's about a heart of possibilities. What are the use cases which are getting used? Today, many of the conversational areas which is getting built or advisory assistants, this particular generative AI getting used. You will also see that this particular area getting utilized for a lot of marketing collaterals what it's getting developed. Today, any product which is releasing in the market, it is not targeted into one region or one area or one country, multiple countries. So your marketing collateral need to be there for different countries in different translated forms. Generative AI can take and generate your marketing collateral in multiple languages using the translation services. That is a power. The third thing, as I mentioned about designs, generative designs, chip designs, UX designs, simulation designs, all these things are possible. Even the drug discovery patents are getting established through this. Earlier, how much time it takes for the drugs discovery, that is getting reduced. Remember, with the generative AI, if you try to bundle it with the quantum computing, not sure whether you heard about it. Quantum, you heard about it? Some of you heard about it. We normally have the processing capabilities to store the states 0 and 1. Quantum stores the data in the form of a qubits, and based on the number of qubits, the number of states it can store, and it will tremendously improve the computing capability. There is already a lot of deep wave machines which are available, the hardware machines which has got that immense capabilities, generally called 4 qubits, 8 qubits, 16 or 32 qubits. It will really, today the prediction is, if you are using a 64 qubit, it can break your 256 encryption algorithm in no time. So the quantum computing, when it comes, this will really empower generative AI to the next level. And quantum processors, now you heard about graphical processing units, quantum processing units will be the next one which you can really look at. Code generation is another area. Beyond that, you also see today there's a lot of data which gets generated, the patterns under which you need to really touch upon. That's where the frauds are happening. The credit card data patterns, other things, fraud detections, anomaly detections, all these things are possible using the generative AI, where it can look into this particular data patterns and say, here is a particular scenario where this is a possible threat. Understanding that threat detections are very important in the industry so that it can avoid those disruptions in the business functions. Similarly, you can see the knowledge search becoming a very important area. Today, universities normally try to go for a lot of research functions. Whether you are trying to do the research function in the right area or not, how do you validate? You go and do the prior art search before the filing the patent. Here, it is able to provide you that kind of a white spaces to understand which are the research areas which are not even touched, where you can go and unlock that. So similarly, document analysis and generation. Many of the requirement documents, design documents, you give the concept, it generates a requirement document. You feed the requirement document, it generates the design specs. You feed the design specs, it can generate the code. You feed the code, it can generate the unit test cases and functional test cases. Likewise, you can go on till the production for deploying that particular code also. So this is an overall possible use cases which are playing a very important role in the generative AI adoption to the next level. People who are trying to explore this particular area, there is a plethora of technologies which are available. But AI, when you try to connect with the metaverse stack, there's a kind of a combination which can come. The reason I'm trying to relate this digital superpowers, they're all interconnected together. I'm not getting into the details, but leaving it for you. But fifth important digital superpower which I wanted to touch is a kind of a virtual shared space where users can interact with computer generated environment. It's important that you play that role. Today, many of the concepts are happening, many of the designs experience are happening in that particular happen. Say for instance, this is a conference where hundreds of people are there. But if the same conference is happening in the metaverse, you can have thousands or lakhs of people who can attend this particular conference. I'll touch upon some of the key examples in the industry how these particular virtual events are trying to take to the next level of communication. You can see the kind of a scale which is trying to trigger is huge. There are a lot of virtual real estates which are there, which are getting sold in the metaverse. I don't know whether you heard about NVIDIA Omniverse, or there are many other verse which are available, playing an important role. In fact, uh, you know about the episode called Kobe Bryant? Kobe Bryant, who is a basketball player, Shane Warne is a cricket player. They all are sports stars who are there, right? And when the sports stars are alive and working or playing, there are a lot of content associated to them were available. Their photos, their videos, their interviews, all these things were archived. The archived data, can you monetize it? Can you sell it? When that episode of they passed away for unforeseen reasons, uh, unfortunate reasons, what these people have done is they created a Kobe verse and Shane verse kind of a world where their fan base was able to get into that particular virtual world, and they got this specific artifacts which are NFTIs, non-fungible tokens, what we call, and people are buying those particular assets in that particular world. That is again a business model which has been created and really empowering, where even an archival data can be monetized. That is a concept. So there are ample number of opportunities in this particular area. Major brands are utilizing this particular technology to advocate and present their positions. Today, virtual stores for many brands are happening. Just wanted to give you the basic information. Like we were there as part of the web world, internet. It's a one-dimensional where you are able to look into the textual contents. But in the two-dimensional world, that is all about hypertext sites. What you're trying to look at a multimedia, which is a combination of audio and video. But in the metaverse, it's a three-dimensional depth. You are also looking into the depth dimension. That's the dimension where you're trying to have the spaces, objects, and a lot of ability to interact with the different avatars. These are the different layers of the internet what you need to be aware. Some of the important concepts when you try to touch upon the metaverse is very important. I just wanted to bring your attention to the non-fungible tokens, the way you transact in the metaverse using the NFTs. Even if you have a rare video, rare audio, rare picture, you can NFTize and sell it. And all these transactions happens in the cryptocurrency world. That's what the way people transact. The other way is NFT way. You can buy and take the things. And there's a lot of virtual spaces, gaming platforms which are happening. Reason I want to relate with you this particular industry areas. You take retail and CPG, huge amount of presence is there in this area. I wanted to touch upon this particular. Okay, this one is there, right? Okay. Wanted to touch upon this Ralph Lauren, Urban Outfitters, and Walmart and Coca-Cola. These are the people who have already registered their trademarks. They normally have their own spaces where they try to demonstrate their brands. They sell their items. Similarly, Samsung launched their entire virtual store for their devices, their products, and people can go browse and they can earn their NFT badges. And Dyson is another thing which is allowing the particular people to walk and look into the products and test the products. So what I want to communicate is there are, even if with Tata brands, if you're trying to look Tata New Chroma, they are also utilizing the metaverse virtual stores to promote their products and present their products. Big Basket, what you know about Indian community, is also doing the same thing. So there's an immersive customer experience is getting utilized as part of the retail and CBG, where people can go and feel the products. Automotive, when you're trying to buy a car, when you're trying to use anything, that also playing a very important role, because experience is not about individual experience, it's a family experience. Especially the automotive sector believes that you're not selling to an individual, you're selling to a family who are buying into that particular thought. Hence, that experience is something they wanted to get. And Nissan, Ferrari, MG Motors, they have created that experiences in their respective metaverse worlds. And Hyundai also focusing on building such kind of adventure Roblox, and that's a very famous. You can go and take a look at Roblox and experience that how company is trying to provide that advanced capabilities and advanced series of their fleet is coming up. Maruti Suzuki has built an Xverse for the premium brands where they can experience it, and even within the Tata Motors and Jaguar Land Rover, we are working in that particular directions. So there are a lot of virtual showrooms where your digitization is possible and experience is possible. Today, customer experience is given as one of the top priorities by every industry. What I want you to look at, and this industry has got a huge power, a lot of digital investment budgets which are there today to drive that story. Last but not the least is about the manufacturing industry. Very important industry, because you see today manufacturing industries are large plants, large factories, smart factories, you may call. They need to know at a plant level, at a floor level, what is happening. And if they wanted to train the people at a large scale, it's very tough for them. It's a very expensive task for them. So, what they're trying to do, they're using the metaverse as a platform for the people to experience and learn the things. For training, education, and troubleshooting, they're using this platform as a mode to drive that. So, Honeywell is one of the premier brand which has really utilized the new hires with mixed reality headsets to exactly do their jobs. Means they are able to teach them using that. Similarly, in South Korea VR factory, they were able to help them operate this particular complex machines, how you operate, how you troubleshoot, how you diagnose, all these things they are teaching in that direction. So you can find that this particular manufacturing industry use all these things for the virtual recruits. In fact, in the software industry also, many of the training content is getting utilized as part of it. Virtual onboarding process is another thing which happened. In the recently COVID time, people were not visiting offices. But in order for you to experience the offices, you can use this simulations to give that experience of onboarding. They can go and witness what are the facilities around without visiting in person. So Tata Steels, Tata Metallics, and Tiscon, from the Tata side, I'm trying to touch upon what we are trying to do. The focus is when you use the metaverse technologies, you are also ensuring that your carbon footprint is reduced to a much possible extent, because people don't travel, people don't use a huge compute power to turn it on, turn it off in the physical environment. It's all virtual. So that simulations really power up the things. So with that note, I wanted to say, what is the future ahead for you? The enterprises are looking for grants like you, the researchers like you, who will be able to come and contribute and help towards this particular skill. There is a huge amount of opportunities which are available in these 5 segments. When they interconnect, they'll really unlock many new scenarios. With that note, I wish you all the best and thank you. I'm open for questions. If you have anything, I can take it up now. Any questions?
The forum is asked open for question. Discussion.
Discussion is very important. How many of you from first year here? Second year? Any researchers? People are presenting here? Publishing the papers and presenting here? Anyone here? Okay. So as part of the first year and second year, you guys, which stream you belong now? Computer science? Any ECE? AIML? Okay. Now you understand the power of AI, what it can do, how industry is really moving towards AI, adapting AI for the different needs and purpose. So what I want is when you're trying to learn your subjects as part of your AI, you try to associate the learning with the industry needs. Associate the learning with industry applications. Applications of AI is very, very important for you to understand. Don't read it for the academic purpose for getting the marks, but read it for understanding the applicability of that in the specific industry. I would say that you guys can form a kind of a specific hubs like retail industry hub or manufacturing hub, fintech hub, healthcare hub, and try to discuss what kind of a healthcare scenarios or manufacturing scenarios where AI can play a role. Look from that dimension, think about it. You can really come up with a beautiful use cases, beautiful problem statements which you want to do it as part of your projects. And if you really wanted to exploit, it's not about utilizing someone built it for you, but you can also build large language models. Today, if you're trying to ask about generative AI, behind the scene is about pre-trained transformers. Pre-trained transformers who has got the algorithms which has been trained on the large amount of corpus. And what runs them? It's a large language models. And today, you give a question, it is able to interpret and respond. It's not getting trained. This is called zero-shot training. One-shot training, two-shot training. It's all about how many times you iterate to get the right answer. So these terminologies, these methods are important. If you really wanted to explore, as a student, you have free test beds available in Azure, Amazon, and Google. You can exploit that. If you really wanted to utilize what are the models available, data sets available for me to look at, huggingface.co, HUGGING FACE.co has got published data models, published data sets. You can go and experiment. You can download the large language model in your environment. You just need a GPU, 2 GPU, 4 GPU machines are good enough to simulate smaller data sets and get the results. So understand how these particular GPTs are built and try to build your own GPT. You can build your own custom GPTs, custom LLMs with a kind of a specific corpus. Understanding that underlying engine, how it is getting built and operated is very important for you guys as engineering graduates. Because when you come out after 3 years, this will go into the new league. If you understand that methods, how large language custom LLMs will be worked, how can I optimize the custom LLMs? Because LLMs will demand lot size, big size. You need to understand, you heard about, you're working on structured databases. Probably you might be exposed to the databases called SQL where you try to store the data. But when you're working in the social media kind of a content, it is stored in unstructured databases. But if you're working in the generative AI kind of an environment, you're storing the data in a vector databases. Understanding that representation of the vectors, how the vectors are computed, how the vectors are searched, what is the embedding into the particular vectors, they all play an important role. And you have AI playgrounds available. You need not invest anything. You have a laptop with internet, log into the AI playgrounds. Even OpenAI playground is available for students free of cost, even for professionals. Go and explore. Deep dive into that, you will discover many, many new things. People are also creating plugins to the chat GPT. They'll be able to publish plugins to the chat GPT. There is a web pilot plugin. There could be the food plugin, which can give you the recipes of the food. Imagine, I would say the sky is the limit for your imagination. And as long as you explore deep into this, and you can integrate your own plugin and publish there. People are using, you get paid. Any questions?
Right. Morning, sir.
Come on.
What are all the aspects I should be considering while the exam?
What are all the aspects I should consider when you're building the?
Trading system.
You want to build an operating system, or you don't want to use any operating system which is available today? Very good. So, what kind of operating system you want to build? What are the current available mobile operating system you saw?
iOS.
You build it from the scratch, or you wanted to fork the available operating system code and build it from there? The differentiations. There should be some difference between your operating system and the current available operating system.
Yes, for the new applications, sir.
Hmm.
So to enhance those experiences in working, I want to build that operating system, like maybe from scratch.
Building it from the scratch is a huge task, I would say, to be very honest. But first of all, you should experiment and understand the characteristics of the operating system. So, operating system characteristics are very, very important. How it behaves, right from the boot layer, how you boot it up the things. Then next level, you need the abstractions, hardware abstraction, and application abstraction layers. You need to understand that particular constructs very well. And you should also understand the runtime engines which are involved in the operating systems plays a very important role. Understand first the characteristics. What Android character? This is publicly available, open source. Anyone can look at it. So once you understand the mobile operating system characteristics, then look into the gap analysis. What are the gaps which is not possible achieved or addressed in the Android? So for the first version of your thought, don't build it from the scratch, but inherit, fork the code of the current operating system, build the different layers or differentiations or the gaps, fix the gaps. So then it will be speed to the market will be much higher. So people should not laugh at this idea, to be very honest. If someone has an idea, try to embrace it, try to support him. And see the gaps and try to fix the gaps and release it. Today, time is very important. Nobody wanted to build it from the scratch. People wanted to leverage it from the available things, enhance it, and push it. So you try to do that. Once you accumulate the mass money, then think about building your own operating system or rebranding it. But at this moment, first study the Android operating system behavior, characteristics, identify the gaps for your applications which you are trying to refer, which is not addressed. Then you can start fixing those things by building it. That should be the path at this moment. Otherwise, it is very, very difficult to build the things from the scratch without having a massive research support for you. As an individual, might be a tough task, but as a group, might be easier. Okay.
Yes.
Any other?
Yeah. Sir, you talked about NFTs, right? So, is it a good way to sell it?
NFTs are the way today people transact in the metaverse world. Okay. So today, if you are buying a real estate or if you are trying to sell anything, you need to NFTize that. You need to NFTize that particular thing. That is a mode. You want to sell a album or you want to sell a kind of a video footage, which is very rare video footage of MS Dhoni last ball six, or it could be the some of the Sachin Tendulkar's 100th century feet or Virat Kohli's 50th century feet. I'm taking the cricket analogy here. You take that video footages and say that I'm NFTizing. If you are the first person to NFTize, it becomes to you.
Is it reliable?
It's reliable. What is the problem? You are trying to position as part of the marketplace within the metaverse world. People who are interested, they'll bid and buy. Today, people are making money like that, but you need to know the path of doing it. So for that, you need to have the cryptocurrency account. You need to have the ability to translate that asset into NFT. And there are players who are available who can give you can upload your asset and get that NFT mark to that, then and put into the marketplace and say that I want to sell this particular thing, and if people buy it, you get the cryptocurrency in your account. That's another business model today. And in the metaverse, NFT is a method to transact, and that is NFTs. Anything you're trying to talk about metaverse, any transaction within the metaverse you're trying to talk, it's always linked with a blockchain. Behind the scenes, it's a blockchain which performs all these particular things, because who owns what asset, from where the transactions are happening, everything is recorded as part of the blockchain systems, blockchain databases, so that absolute zero fraud can happen, and huge trust and transparency can be established. Generally, I see girls have a lot of doubts, a lot of questions, but this time I'm not seeing that. You guys are so cool, calm. Okay, thank you very much. Hope I have not exceeded the time. Bala Prasad Pedigari.
I request a reference. I'm Saluja Raghav. Sorry. It's congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you, ma'am.
Very good.
I hope they like it.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Pleasure. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you
very much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll meet again at 2 o'clock. But where are we clear? And keep
Where better, sir? Oh, this one. Sorry. Thank you. Thanks for trying.
it.
also without internet access, etc. And there is no effect with attributes like gender and multiple lines and availability of phone services, all those. And coming to the segmentation output, as discussed, it is divided into four clusters. And here the cluster 0 represents the unsatisfied customers who will be churning out. And cluster 1 represents conditional churners. Like they will be churning out based on some conditions. Like they will be checking for the options available, better options available. If they find the better options, they'll churn out. And then cluster 2 represents conditionally low. Subscribers are not the churners. They are really satisfied with the services provided by the company and they will stay back. And next comes the lifestyle migrators. Lifestyle migrators will continuously change their needs, so they will be migrating when their needs are changed. And this is a web application which we are using the Flask. So the user will be inputting the giving the inputs here. So this will be processed through the predictive model, then the segmentation model, and the results are given. So for the given input, the sample input, the results are obtained as like he is a loyal customer, will be not changing out. So if he is not churning out, the time period of duration is 0 obviously. So it's written as none over there. And next comes the segment type. Segment type, as he is a non-churner, he is a conditionally loyal subscriber, which is the result given by the models. And these are the characteristics belonging to the cluster, that is the conditionally loyal subscribers that they belong to. And accordingly, the retention strategies are prepared and displayed to the company user. So based on this report, they can retain the customers back. So we have completed this project with the predictive model accuracy as 81.74%, and the accuracy of the segmentation is like 96.7576%. And this will be very useful for any type of organization, mainly for the subscription-based organizations, in order to retain the customers and grow the market and grow with the business. So thank you. Any queries?
Customer yes. It is. Customer characteristics.
Yes, ma'am.
What information it gives us
This characteristics is the individual attribute information of that particular cluster map. So like when the input is given, it is verified as a conditionally loyal subscriber. So for the conditional loyal subscribers, like this but like there are for example, if we go with the gender, the male and female is uniform, so there is no effect for the conditionally loyal subscriber. And there are more, churn rates in case of.
Like you want to express exactly the results and perceptions of your site.
Yes, ma'am.
Once you have a better analysis for these particular characteristics.
Yes, ma'am. Like as you see, some characteristics have greater rates. So those are the important characteristics for that type of segment to be design the retention strategies. So based on those which are impacting the churn rate, we are taking those into consideration and designing the retention process accordingly.
Whatever you are doing, customer characteristics, once you are doing, it's a different customers on different aspects, like on excess and backs of this may not be same parameters you have to put there.
Yes, actually, the graphs were plotted against the chain rate to the particular activity.
Here's the reason I'm doing it's not belongs to the particular attributes. The different attributes have to consider because we observe the characteristics on axis, different are there.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a different for the different persons have you extracted.
No, the attributes will be the same for every person. Yeah. And but like the rate of the attribute, like whether it will be high or whether it will be low, is different for each individual customer based on their usage of the product or service.
Basically, how that
Yes. Yes.
it's the analysis from each type of the customer.
Yeah.
As we have obtained these are the loyal subscribers, we got the characteristics as seen here. Once you input your own parameters to the model, then the cluster may be different. Now he may be a lifestyle migrator. Then these characteristics changes accordingly. This one. Hello. This colors indicates actually have given cluster 0, 1 to 3. Yes. So unsatisfied customers that is a red color. Yes, ma'am. P is PCA1, PCA2. What it conveys to us? Okay. PCA indicates the principal component analysis, where which is used, which is a dimensionality reduction technique. In all, as we have 26 attributes for us to be considered for any analysis for the segmentation group. So we have reduced it to two components in order to increase the productivity and decrease the time period. So it's hidden a process of segmentation. So accordingly to visualize the clusters, the components were put it over there. Based on this particular strength, they can analyze the type of customers who are actually attracted towards their particular products. See? Yes, ma'am. And they can analyze the characteristics and accordingly plan the retention strategies. So, which will be really helpful. Like if you know the reason, like what attributes are impacting the strength, you can design retention strategies based on those characteristics. And if you blindly design for all the considering everyone as the same, it may be not effective. Yeah, that's why all these models develop. So your process should be is it your process? Yes, ma'am. Can you show the type once? Okay. Thank you. Next one. Station here. Excuse me. Thank you. Some of the students profit. So we should take it. Yeah. Maybe should really before 2020, right? Before 2020, my option. You guys have one. Anyone that Twitter in like mobile attacks. So and also Sri Lanka was in Russia or India by using this product, a niche product. I'm just showing one of the prototype. Here, I'm introducing one of the radar detect this one. So I am using the radar plus radar 160 miles per hour. Any other like use the spaces are bringing the objects. So here, this is one of this. From the main one is radar will be used for 116 meters, but other than devices also can use. But here what we do is each shift we can give one of the ID number. So ultrasonic sensor will be identify that object, will identify that number, whether it is a number is should up to the 10, okay, or otherwise it can blast that shift. That's the main of this. So this is the block diagram of that. And here 36 kilometer, 36 meters of the frequency is generated by the
LM555 IC, and which is given to almost in my project. Almost all it can cover to the 20 centimeters of the distance for the prototype of. But if you implement it in the real-time world, then it can implement it up to 160 miles of the distance, which can cover by using radar. So that's the main one, and that's the future scope of that. And this is the block diagram. You're using that, and here all
which we are using the 20 centimeters coverage. Actually, we are using.
makes sense actually for the prototype. So this is not existed by research. And here different components we use that IR sensor and like LED sensor for the display of that, whether the ship is identified or not, authorized or not, you can identify that. Like a DC motors we use for the glassing purpose, it can cover the 300 degrees, it can cover it because we have to cover 360, but India is having only up to 180 degrees of the means angle. That's why we will cover 360 degrees. For that we are using motor, and the display purpose we are using like LED displays, and these are all are connected to the 89C5 power because of the prototype. If you implement it by using like a prototype means that IC replaced by the Raspberry Pi or either Arduino, then we can get much more results also. But prototype only. This is the one of the basic one. That's why I kept it this one ultrasonic sensor, which can be identified 20 centimeters. This is my prototype model, and here see this is the motor, this is the model, and which will be rotated. The white color is the like a glass. It can cover the 360 degrees. Whether the ship is coming or not, it will be identify that. Whether any ship is come, whether it is authorized, here the display will be there. So in the LCD, it can display that whether it is authorized or not. And again, this will be if it is far away from the 20 centimeters of that, it can't identify that because here I am using ultrasonic. And if anything is there, they will give us some announcement. In 3 ways, they will give the announcement like please give your authentication, please give the authentication like that. So one of the voice is not identified, that's why they given the 8 types of voices for the identification of that ship. If they are not giving the authentication, then only they will do the blast. Otherwise, they won't.
Authentication voice.
2 voice. Or otherwise, they will give one of the signal. Okay. Yeah.
Authentication not by detecting the number of the particular vehicle. It's first number, is it?
Yes, sir. First of all, they'll give the number. If that is not identified, that sometimes maybe in the rainy situations we are not identify that number. If they will give another signal from the ship, if that signal is not given, they will give the 8 times like alarm, like signal time. So if you not given the confirmation from their side, then they will do the blast. That's all. And this is the conclusion by using simply, okay, a simple one. We can easily identify that, but we can protect our poster. That's the meaning of it. So these are the references and the
Thank you, sir. Forum is open to discussion. So, IR sensor specifications, can you give, sir? Whatever the sensor you have your skills.
just only minutes. Just no careful, that's not bad. But so not useful. But just motion of that means here we captured one of the ship for the motion. Just only we captured that. But the reality is not. Just so it's a radar maybe I did.
The radar needs exactly.
Yes, and also they will use the image processing itself.
So existing no models.
That's why only that's
Even they are identifying the vehicles like the space vehicles. So they're
especially at the only 4 places only they will place. But the India is having almost thousands of the only navy places like important places only they will get it. The entire coastal they won't cover it. Yeah.
see radars. You have a vehicles.
That's why only Sri Lanka is easily entered and also Mumbai has the same. This is one of the project of my students. And the second one is this is CMT11. CMT11. Number is CMT11.
Even present times. See. So writing is very just now you presented a paper, right? Can you show the title of your paper last page?
Initial detector. because already
Who said that I'm one paper unit? Yes.
next one.
Five presentations are there still. Batch. Before the lunch team, we have four. Okay, he's registered for the two or one? He is registered for the two. So now you all decided him complete. Yeah.
So now my students project is unique sky calculation using solar array. So this is also very different way, but we are not at all focusing much more algorithms, all these things, just we are showing something solution for us, a small. So this is my number. My number is CMP 12. The unique sky calculation using solar array. So before going to my topic, okay. So first of all, in the entire world, population is increasing, but the land is not increasing. So we're having a limited land, we're having a limited resources like pure water, like all these things. And also, farming land is very less. And the farming land is mainly disturbed by wild animals and also for pets, whatever it is. So I want to protect my land and for my farming, whatever it is, from all these things. So here, this is the one of the analysis from the 1950 to 2050, how the land is less, means cropping land is less with the growth of
Land is minimizing its right?
its ratio. Uh, uh, full side land. So now going to the smart agriculture by using IoT or many techniques. Here also I'm taking one of the prototype for the development of my project. Just at one only I'm using one of the microphone I'm using to develop. So here in the smart cases for smart agriculture, first concentrate on the four means points, observation, irrigation, irrigation, and action. How much action it will be showing efficiently. And also in the smart farming, we must should enter this one like sensing technology, software application, communication systems like telematic hardwares and data analysis solutions. But here I'm taking only one of the part. I'm not at all doing the data analysis part because by introducing the Raspberry Pi, if I'm going to the higher level, then only you can take it that one. But I'm just only connecting it. I'm showing something solution for the. So here this is also I want to be introduced. And these are the different types of means farming, smart farmings are there, like layer by layer, and also like the houses they were constructed like this. These are the different types. The main advantage of the smart means layer, smart means agriculture. Like efficient way you can utilize it, and cost is also reduces, purchasing cost is also reduces, high operating one, and we can protect the environment anymore because by doing the like means fertilizers, then we can get something disturbance to the means environment. These are my proposal model. I'm showing another means a video for this one also. Here also just only I'm taking one of the Jane field. By seeing that picture, then you can see that how it is just only it is a Jane field, how you can apply that. Just I will explain that. And these are my overview of that. And what are the advantage of that? First of all, cost is reduced. We can easily efficient one, and also farmers can get the profit 12 months in every month, every day they will get. And also, if you're getting the heavy rains, our crops will getting something damaged. But by using this technique, we can avoid that damage also. What is that? Just I'm showing this is the one. It's a giant wheel. We can control it. Here, 8 plates are there. See this one. Here, 8 plates are there, which is connected to the DC motor. And the DC motor we can run in any direction from left to right or left to right to left. We can do anything now. Just I'm showing one of the video, then you can understand. So it's not this.
So this is my type, and this will be explained like a solar panel only, no extra power is required, and which is controlled by using RF controller. We can control up to 100 meters of the distance to the prototype. This is a giant wheel, they can control either left to right or right to left. Any way we can control. And also we can communicate to the data analysis part of also, because we can some sensor when we can get the rain, if it is connected to the weather, when we can get the rain, when we can get the water, everything we can do this. So any one of the way we can go to the like one. In 12 months means every day we can get the profit by using this.
Like convey is it like for structure of the forming?
Structure of the forming is like that. And also we can give the very less water, because means if we get the more water, takes more absorb the water on the other side also. But if you fix it like this, so little water only required. Less water is required. And also animals also cannot be disturbed because it's operating like circuit. So animal disturbance is also not. Wild animals cannot be disturbed properly. This is one of the models. And main advantage of this one is you can get the every day we can get the profit from this. That's it.
Yes, sir.
I mean, Gentle is your invention in this, because the remaining structures already is existing. I mean, what we have shown is the first photographs.
Not actually, JP is going to hold another direction. But fix it, we can going to either here or another effort. Here I am developing a big size. Okay, so the plates are going like up and down. Can't go up. Means high power is required for the operation. So that's why the motor will be going like this and like this. We can easily less apply. Means less power is required to operate that one. That's one of the advantage. Less water is also required. It's another advantage. And animals cannot be disturbed that while animals are anything. That's another advantage.
The thing is, just we have shown right in the first photographs some different structures of
Yes, madam.
plantation.
Here my invention is that chain.
So that generally you are saying this advantage as compared to the structures of the
Yeah.
plantation. Okay.
Thank you. My first is L and Avinash first paper. Yeah.
Yes. Same. Oh, same both of you. Okay. That is its own conflict, huh? You're not it. Same here.
Interesting that, but
Myself Avinash from Triple Department Service System. I'm here to represent with scouting Vikramya Vilas Saideda Sorati. And our project is about energy management for household integrated with renewable and electric. And this is a project which is based on a future scope. These days, the energy management and consumption of a energy household is going to be a significant transformation. And in this generation, the electric vehicle demand has been increased. In that problem, we are going to implement a electric vehicle storage system in a household. And this is our block diagram. And we are going to write a code control algorithm which is being a power controller. And these three photovoltaic system and electric vehicle battery and electric grid, these three are the sources and loads which has to be in our system. And a load is our home. This is the basic block diagram of the project. And so compare our project with a normal base case and with an renewable energy and with renewable energy and selling back to grid, we are going to uh, show in three cases. In first case, it is a basic case. Which in these days we are going to get the energy from the grid only. There is no PV and selling back to grid. And in the second case, we are going to have a renewable energy sources, which is solar energy, and we are not going to sell any energy to the grid. And in the third case, this is our project, which consists of renewable energy and electric vehicle storage system. And through the electric vehicle storage system, we are going to send the energy to the grid. And this is the algorithm for every case. This is the same case. We are going to we are going into algorithm. There are four steps. First, we initialize the parameters. Set the EVSOC means electric vehicle state of charge and define load specific price for the cost of energy. Cost of energy we are going to set, and we are going to set the maximum SOC battery state of charge and minimum state of charge we are going to set. And we are going to calculate the EV load, and in the third step we are going to calculate the energy from the grid, and which is going to be energy from the generated in our household, and from the energy we are getting, we are going to calculate the cost, and we are going to depend what is the reliable energy sources to ourselves. We are going to define in this. This is the same case as one. In this case, we are going to implement the renewable energy sources like solar panels in the households. In the third case, with the renewable energy sources, we are going to implement an additional electric vehicle charging station. Due to that, the electric vehicle, we are going to have an additional charging station, which we can also use as a source to our households demands to reach our demands. And this is the three different cases we are going to analyze, and we are going to compare which is going to be useful to us, and which is what we get the energy from the grid, and what we are going to sell the energy to the grid. In the first case, we are not going to generate any energy, so that the total energy is zero and cost of selling is also zero. But we are going to get the energy from the energy grid, so that per unit in the reference, the cost of energy from the grid per unit we take 5 as an consumption, and
simple.
for selling cost we are for selling cost, we are designed $8 per unit, and based on that, this table is designed, which the state of energy is 35. We are going to set that state of energy in the algorithm, which the minimum associate we shared with our guide, and we discussed that if we set minimum.
Just take one example, the second case or third case, any case as you wish. Okay. How you are showing that the profit is either 300 or 100. Just express one line is enough.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, in the first case, there is no problem, ma'am, because we are
Yeah,
getting.
leave it that. Yes.
Yes. Ma'am, in the second case, we are going to generate the energy from the solar panels, ma'am. So that to meet the demand in the load, what we are generating and what we are getting from the grid, the both are need to be increase the demand. For an example, we are going to generate 60 units. For that, we are going to reduce. We are going to take 100 units from the grid bank. The 60 units we get from the generator. So that we are going to reduce the money from the 160 to 60 units.
160 to 100.
160 to 100. Well, no, we are going to get 100 units from the grid bank. So that we are going to generate 60 units from our renewable energy sources.
Without the save as a profit of 300.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it piece or what is that figures?
Piece per
Piece per unit. Not mentioned anywhere else here.
no.
5 rupees per unit. Piece per.
There are two different cases when we are selling the unit and we are going to purchase.
What is the EV there?
And it is the vehicle storage bank.
Next.
This is the case. Three cases we are going to get an order.
He plus selling back to advantages and more profitable.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it your process panel here?
Yes. So that when we are going to depend upon the renewable energy sources, that we are going to grid system when we are not available renewable storage system.
Where you put the next next. Okay.
So this is the output. This is an output.
Okay, how much power you are getting? It's to balance. For the household purpose, how much power you are getting? Just
Alright, we just said that there is
like
no map. Yes. Just we are going to a design purpose. Yeah. So we are going to place in a place. We are going to algorithm we place a controller. We are going to write it down. Put for them. So based on the design, we are going to accurate values.
have you observed this results?
Yes.
You observe the results?
Yes. This is the result. This is first one is the input map, and second one is the
Prototype matter have you developed? Practically have you implemented?
we are implemented in the math.
But simulation means we extracted the results. Thank you. Now I request last candidate to present his paper.
Yeah. Let's in the beginning. It's now between the friends in between. Conquer. Try to say good words. Good thinking this all. So good signals. Good clarity. అన్ని వాడి వాడి ఇట్లా చేతిలో ఎక్కడ తెలుస్తుంది
We are living in the 21st century, and we are simply available in our daily life. We are now here to discuss business, and we are going for organizing sharing resources. We have resources without lot of finances like unlimited solar, the hydro, but we are using for only solar because that's efficiency should be high. And people techniques is cost effective. We are considering efficiency. Accuracy of equipment is different from the lagging. And we have taken 10 to 15 limited survey papers. Among them, we have selected 4 limited papers for our project use. Some of them are solar panel tracking, physiological activity, fractional circuit voltage, alternate. In this first, we are going to solar tracking, and solar tracking. We have 2 types. One is singular axis and another is dual axis. Singular axis is nothing but our solar panel should rotate 0 to 180 degrees from east to west or west to east or north to south or south to north. Depends upon the sunlight and irradiance. And the advantage of solar panel type is high energy or adaptable with sun movements and limitations. High cost maintenance is also very huge. The effects of this solar panel type is very medium. So we are going for alternative or physiological. Physiological activity, we have cautious parts, less complex and accuracy is high. So the limitations of these physiological capabilities depends on the system model understanding. And the efficiency of the physiology is high, but complexity is very low. And coming to fraction of our circuit voltage, we are using this for under abnormal condition. Abnormal condition. We know that in day-to-day life, the climate changes from sunlight to cloudy or cloudy to rainy. So we have to improve our MPPT techniques. So we are using fraction of circuit voltage to improve our technique. In this, we have efficiency is low, but we are going to another technique that is piano. Piano is an algorithm which is very widely and commonly used in the MPPT techniques. It's very simple and design is low cost. And coming to cost, we are using this piano with very cost effective and inaccuracy and understandings also.
It's not existing. Next.
This is our water solution. We are taking a solar radiation for hourly and converting to PNO, which gives an MP50. This MP50 data set is given to the ML model training by using Python 3. We are taken approximately 40 points of data sets. We are then test and training and which gives an MP50 approximately 99.9% efficiency along with the tracking speed is 0.07. And MPPT prediction, we have solar radiation and MPPT. For instances and immediately solar radiation, we use the MPPT. Magma pop and tracking.
Except similarly.
We have MPPT is magma pop and tracking. Magma power. Irradiation, how much power is getting out? Yes.
Okay, you're not there.
We are using ML for regression method. We are taking 40 data points and that's sitting into training and testing. By using of this regression method, by using a linear regression and polynomial regression, second and third order, we are using data to fit the data to ask a value approximately 0.9. And methodology we using this quality is linear regression and polynomial regression. We have clearly know about the linear regression, which is the relation between environmental factors and between linear constants. And polynomial regression examines the impact of environmental factors in the MPPT with second order polynomial regression capturing nonlinear patterns. And coming to control algorithm, the linear regression model predicts the activity based on past and current data recording solar radiance and temperature. The model is trained on historical data enabling is to establish a relation between things like irradiance, temperature, now the algorithm is push it out the data from the certain we have trained equations and we have get the output. And for case 2 and 3, we have used same algorithm because regulation of second order or order linear regression.
Coming to system data, we have taken the system data from the techno-economics and analysis of MPT and PMW controllers performance of PV systems. From this, we have taken the system data approximately equal to 48 points we have taken. This is only 13 points we have shown here. And coming to the results, linear regression, we have taken approximately we have taken 40 points in that 80% of food testing, training and 20% food testing. We have these well has equal to after values between 0 to 1. The next value is 1. We are getting 0.997. Further, we are working on this, we get approximately equal to 1. And for the regression, we are also same values are getting. And efficiency is high using this polynomial regression, second order, third order. Coming to conclusion, we have developed a predictive model of P&O algorithms for macro power and ranking with the high efficiency and accuracy and a linear and polynomial second and third order degree using ML models, implementing in software applications. And we have taken a 40 points was considered in ML models for 0 I score of 0.99786. We're using this. In short, piano MPPT algorithm is most effective MPPT for photorecs. Has simple and low implementation and effective tracking and this has maintenance of something. PowerPoint project.
Oh,
Just start.
ground floor. Okay. Okay.
8.5. Enhanced efficiency in just with the title first, then we can look at the matter. Actually, having a better clarity on the presentation.
Enhanced efficiency. Solar PV, solar for PV. We are taking 40 packs now, which are from last semester, and we are training to machine learning. We have put it into 80% and 20% of train data and test data. By this, we are getting the efficiency up to 99.9%. Maximum power.
So prior to that, you didn't come across any such an efficiency of 99.9.
We are getting 98.
Have you verified practically, please?
Visual.
Have you verified it or it's testing? Yeah. It's also your process. Yes, sir. Thank you. So thank you all for the active participation. We will meet shortly. From the team for the valedictory. So I request everyone to be gathered here at sharp 2:50. Okay.
Thanks. Ramesh, phone on.
Where you will want to go somewhere?
ట్రైపాడ్ లేపా ట్రైపాడ్ లేపు అది కాదు పట్టుకో ఫస్ట్ మనం పోవడానికన్నా నమ్మి పోవడానికి అన్ని చేంజ్ చేయాలా రే అన్ని చేంజ్ చేయాలి ఎందుకు ఎందుకు చేంజ్ చేస్తాను అవన్నీ ప్రీసెట్స్ పెట్టిన ప్రీసెట్స్ పెట్టిన అన్ని ఇది అట్లీస్ట్ గవర్నమెంట్కి ఏం సంబంధం అది సెట్ చేసి పెట్టినా ఏం కావాలి అంతే ఓకే 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 బాగా బాగా అరెస్ట్ కొన్ని ఏం
Convergence of bright minds, innovative ideas, spirited discussions which have undoubtedly left an indelible mark of all of us. As we bid farewell to this gathering, let us carry forward the knowledge, gain the connections made, and the inspiration ignited to fuel our journey towards excellence on the realms of engineering beyond. I extend my heartfelt thanks to all the delegates, organizers, supporters who have contributed to the success of this event. Here to this future, fueled by the sparks of collaboration and discovery ignited here at St. Peter's Engineering College. Now I request convener of the seminar, Dr. Anjan Sexter, to the dais. We welcome you, sir.